Hey crafty friends, Kim from Stamping and Scrapping Imperfection. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm playing with a really fun scrapbook kit. This is called Seas and Greetings and it's from Close to My Heart, and I checked yesterday and there were still some of these kits available, and I love this kit. It is actually not in either of their current catalogs. I actually got this in December, I think. Yeah, I got this in December because it was listed as a monthly special during December and January. And I love the papers in this. You can see here, this is a very wintry scene. The colors are fantastic. They're just a fun grouping of colors. But if I flip the paper over, you can see one side is winter themed and one side is beachy winter themed. And to me, this is perfect paper because I live in Florida in the winter and I'm not feeling the snow stuff. However, I am going to use the snowy stuff today because my daughter lives in Michigan and they had a blizzard a couple weeks ago, and she sent me the cutest picture because she had a snow day. So I'm excited that I get to use the wintry bits, because here you can see this is what I have left over, and you can see here I've got a few wintry themed, like snowy winter themed stickers left, and I was wondering how I was going to use those. Here are the pictures. Aren't they gorgeous? Like, what a beautiful day this turned out to be for her. She was very excited to have a snow day. So it turns out no matter how old you are, and even if you are a professor in college, you do love to have a snow day. So I think it's super fun. So that's my daughter and her dog, her fiance, took those pictures. And I'm also going to play with some of the acrylic bits that came in this kit. Here you can see there are word acrylic bits, there are mittens, there are snowflakes. Then there were also, of course, some beachy acrylic bits like shells and sunglasses and things like that. So I did pull out some of the title pieces because, that's one of the things I like to include in my layouts. I also like my canvas. Here's the sketch that I created. This didn't actually print very well. It's actually supposed to be square, but you can get that and print that off my website at stampingimperfection.com for free. So, help yourself to that. And it will look much better in the digital version. My printer is just not working very well. So here's one of the stamp sets that coordinates with this workshop kit. This is the Seas and Greetings winter stamp set. I love this. I probably won't use the larger things, but the thing about this stamp set is it's got those snowflakes. It's got these little like berries clustered, this like little 3 berries clustered together on a stamp. That's the stamp I'm going to use. I love those little filler stamps because I like to stamp on my scrapbook layouts below the layers of ephemera and papers that I put in, because I feel like it adds some texture and dimension to my scrapbook layouts. So I am really looking forward to that. You can see I pulled out 2 of my tags and label dies so I can create some tags and labels. Here are the other scrapbook layouts I made from this kit. And this one I made at the beginning of January for a couple of challenges. One was a sketch challenge and the other one was a theme challenge. And I've included stickers, die cut letters and alphabets. I stamped part of my title. I've got the tab that I cut out there. I've got lots of stickers. I've got a couple, I created a journaling box out of a couple thin cuts. So I love that layout. Here's one I created. My husband gifted me with hockey tickets. Yes, you can watch ice hockey in Florida. And it was freezing inside the building, so I thought that was a good opportunity to combine the beachy paper with the winter elements. You can see I used some of the snowflakes. I used actually some of the winter stickers along with some of the beach stickers and kind of combined them all together. And now I want to create just a winter themed one here. So I'll put the pictures aside. And now I'm going to work on my canvas. I've got my title selected. It's going to say Winter Wonderland in acrylic bits. Now I'm working on the canvas or my layout. I've got the sketch and I picked out the papers that I'm going to use, and then I'll add my embellishments. So I'm working on creating my base page. Now I'm working with scraps left over from those first 3 layouts that I created there, and I want to use up the scraps that I have, so I didn't bother measuring or anything. I just created a layout that would allow me to use all of these pieces, and I like to create the layout first because it lets me kind of visualize what it's going to come out like, and I can play around on the computer with the parts before I actually put it together and start working with the stuff. So I do fuss with that little branding strip. I loved that dark peach branding strip under there. Here I'm experimenting with some of the scraps that I have to see what I want to use to make the tag, and I'm deciding that I want to use the solid colors. So I pull out this is the tags and tabs set, and I'm going to choose one of those. This is the all-purpose tags. You can see there are a lot of thin cuts in that. I love these sets, and it was definitely worth it to me to have both of those in my stash. So I went ahead and cut those out, and I've got a nice light blue one here and the peach one. I haven't worked with the Close to My Heart colors long enough to remember what the names of those are, so I apologize for that. One little detail I do like to add to my tabs, and that's the little like bit that goes around the hole. So I have this hole punch that I bought years ago, and I always like hand cut my own tags before I got these die sets. It's so much more convenient to have the die sets, and they come out perfect every time. But I'm still using this little punch because I love this finishing detail. Like, I like to put the little I'm not sure what that's called, that little tab around the hole, the hole enforcer. Now, the all-purpose tags came with one of these pieces, so I die cut that out. I am going to go ahead and add some twine to that. I have some like twine that I got in a kit a long time ago. I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I did create my tags now. I'm going to add those in, and you could tuck those anywhere you really want to. I'm going to tuck them between the layers, and I'm just trimming off that twine to make sure it's not too long. I like the little black detail there. Had I had something that color coordinated with the cardstock, I probably would have used that instead, but I actually ended up liking the black and white. So I did put a foam dot behind those tags. I do like to pop the top of them up a little bit just to give parts of my layout some dimension. And I do want to put one of those little snowmen down there. I think they're adorable. I'm going to put a second branding strip there just because I love the dark blue element in there. Since it's part of that background paper, I want to add a little bit more there to kind of frame my focal point. So I like the way those two darker branding strips are framing the focal point, and they're drawing your attention to the focal point. So I designed this so that my 3 ephemera clusters are actually going to form a visual triangle all around the outside of my layout there, my focal image. I pulled one of instead of making a tab, I pulled one of the date stickers off the sticker sheet. I love when they include stuff like that because I always date my layouts whenever I can. And I'm just pulling out a couple of circle stickers to fill in a couple spots that I felt like needed just a little extra color. And I'm going to play with some of those acrylic pieces and put those around. And I love the mittens. Aren't they fantastic? Like, they actually have some little like die cut details on them, and they're really very pretty. like have purchased like enamel dots before, but I've never really purchased enamel pieces like this, or not enamel, but acrylic pieces like this. So I'm kind of excited about having something that I've never really played with before. And I'll use those. Now, one of the title bits that I'm using actually came broken, but it wasn't broken so badly that I couldn't use it. I'm going to be able to like glue it down and piece it together. It just broke in one spot, so that was an easy fix. So I hope the acrylic pieces do hold up when I tend to stack my my scrapbooks on a shelf. So, I'm hoping that the weight of other things on top of this isn't potentially going to harm the acrylic pieces. I don't think it will. I think most of them are pretty flat and pretty sturdy, so we'll see. Traveling in a package is probably never a great way for something to arrive, you know, so like packages really do get beat up on the way a lot of times. So I'm just adding those acrylic bits, playing around. I'm putting some foam bits behind some of the stickers, and notice that I only put the foam bit behind usually the top part of the sticker or the top corner of the photo or the top of the tab. I learned that from Vicki Boutin. It's one of the things that she talks about doing, and I love the way it looks, so I've been doing that to mine a lot lately. I really like that detail, and I love her scrapbook layouts. They're so gorgeous. And if you want to watch Vicki Boutin, she goes live every Friday night, so you can take free mixed media classes with Vicki Boutin, who is amazing. So just know that that's available. And I've learned so much from her. It's amazing. So I'm just playing with my title, and I'm going to go ahead and glue my title in place. So now I've got my photos, I've got my canvas or background, and I've done my embellishments, or I'm almost done with my embellishments, and I've got my title in place. The only thing I haven't added to this is my journaling, but I know my journaling is going to go in directly on the cardstock. I'll write it with a journaling pen right below the photos on that Lagoon cardstock. I will add my journaling. So in my head, I've already planned my journaling, and those are my 5 elements: my photos, my canvas or background, my embellishments, my title, and my journaling. And that's generally the order that I plan things, and the order that I put it together too, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm going to just glue all these acrylic pieces down. And I do, for the most part, use glue dots. Those work really well for me for bigger things like chipboard and stuff. And I will use some liquid glue on the back of the thinner letters. The glue dots don't work as well on the thinner bits, so I will do that. So I have 2 finishing details that I felt like really made a difference finishing off my page. So I started with my white gel pen, and I sometimes like to just put a border with a journaling pen around the edge. So I'm just using my white gel pen on this dark paper, and I'm putting it probably like an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16. And here you can see I rest my pinky on my mat, and I really firmly hold the pen. I'm not moving the pen, I'm just dragging my hands along my desk straight down. So I turn it and do the next one, and I'm just dragging my hand. I'm not in any way, shape, or form lifting that pen or pulling the pen, other than dragging my whole arm down. And because my pinky is resting directly on the mat and the table, it's allowing me to keep that pretty straight. And if I wiggled it too much, I would just put a second line wiggling around the first line. And I put a little asterisk on the inside of that big snowflake because I felt like it just looked too empty. And the next thing I pulled out was my White Daisy ink. This is a pigment ink, so it takes a little while to dry, as does that white gel pen. I'm left-handed, so I know all about smearing ink as I drag my hand across things I've just written. So I'm really good at being careful when I do something like this, because I've learned the hard way. So I pull out that little, like, 3 berry stamp, and I'm going to use this with white. I just tested it on a piece of scrap. I love the way it looks. It almost looks like water bubbles stamped in this white, so I really like it. It's so pretty. So I'm just putting this around, I'm scattering this around, and I'm liking the way it looks. So I end up putting more than I originally planned in my head because I liked it so much. And I think it's a great finishing detail. It just adds a little bit more texture and dimension to your page. And isn't that white pretty on that deep lagoon color? Like, I think that's really pretty. So I finished that off. Now I need to be very careful not to touch that because pigment ink does take a while to dry. I like to give it up to an hour. Here you can see all the details, and you can see how those look like bubbles when they're stamped. The outside bit is a little bit darker. Now I will put links below to all of the stuff that's still available that I used here from Close to My Heart, and that will take you to my Close to My Heart store. And I thank you so much for checking it out. If you use those links, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment. Let me know what you like about this, or what you might do differently. And I would love it if you subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. So thank you so much for watching, friends. Have a wonderful day.